In this session, we're going to be talking about some of the special features found on the cash register screen. Three of them in particular. We're going to talk about the customer assistant, which is launched from this side of the screen. We're going to talk about discount schedules, and we're going to talk about tax profiles. Now these all work together, so I'm going to talk about discounts and taxes first, and then I'm going to come back and talk about the customer assistant and show you how that all ties things together. When I choose the discount, you can see that there's already several discounts defined in here. These discounts, you can go in and edit these, or you can create brand new ones to meet the needs of your store. But for this demonstration, I'm going to choose 10%. I'm going to come over here to my ISBN SKU field, and just like we did for the basic sale, I'm going to scan in an item. And here we have the item ready to go, and you'll notice that it says a 10% discount. If I want to change that, I can change that to 20%, and it changes here. The thing to remember most about this discount in the header section is typically throughout Anthology, when an item is listed in the header section, it applies to the entire transaction or the entire document. This is true most of the time, and it's certainly true here. If I were to add a second item, just scan in another item, you can see that it has a 20% discount. Now, one feature of the cash register that's kind of nice is you have a line item discount, and you can lock one of these lines or both of these lines to a completely different discount if you'd like. So we're going to do that similar to the way that we made changes in the basic sale. We're just going to click on this line and bring it back over here in edit mode. I'm going to come in and highlight this discount of 20%, and I'm going to add 12%. I choose enter line to move it back over in the tape section with the edits, and now a little lock shows up next to the discount showing me that this is set at 12%, and it doesn't matter what I do, it's not going to change that to anything but 12%. So that's how you lock an individual line. To show you, I can do the same thing with this one. I can come in here and I can even do a little crazier. I can do a 15.25%. And I hit enter, and now we're locked in at 15.25%. It makes no difference what I change these to, it doesn't change them. But if I add a third item, let me come over here to my ISBN SKU field, and I'll add a third item here. Okay, you can see that this came in at the 10% that was defined up here. So that's how we can use discounts. Tax profiles allow you to build different types of tax profiles that can take advantage of many different tax situations that may be in your state or local tax laws. So they're very powerful. It's not something that you would want to change on the fly, I don't think, but you certainly could change this from resident to non-resident, and it would affect the tax of the entire sale. But these are usually linked to the customer. So let's go back over here. I'm going to choose none, and I'm going to choose, scroll up here, and I'm going to choose no discount. I thought I was anyway. Go up here, I'll choose no discount. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type in Brown, and I hit enter, and I can see that it's Sue Brown's record. Now there's two other ways at least that you can get this screen to pop up, the customer assistant, and I'm going to show you those. I'm going to cancel this right now. Say I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to click on the ellipsis button, and you can see Sue Brown is highlighted. I'm going to click out of here. I'm going to delete Sue from this. I can also choose the F2 lookup key from my keyboard, or I can click the F2 lookup button down here. For our demonstration, I'm going to click the key. Here comes the customer assistant, and now I can just select Sue Brown. So I'll do that, and I select it. Now you'll notice that it brought in a 10% discount and a tax profile of resident. That's because Sue Brown's customer record contains this information. One thing I do want to point out is that if you make a change to this discount and change it to 20%, it does not change Sue Brown's customer record. she still has the default 10%. The next sale that she comes in, it'll give her a 10% discount, not the 20 for this one. So now we have Sue assigned to this record. So let me go back in here and we'll just complete this. Well, no, let's do this. We'll go back here and I'll type in Tom. And it didn't find any Tom. So now through the customer assistant, I can choose F4 new, and I can go in here and I can add in Tom and mall, and I can put the organization of, if I spell it right, Anthology. I can assign me a discount schedule, and I like me, so I'm going to give me a 30% discount. And I can fill out the billing address and so forth. All of this is not necessary to complete the customer record, but it's a good idea to keep this as complete as possible. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to choose a tax profile. I'm going to choose resident, and then I'm going to save my record. And now you can see that Tom Mall has been added to this sale. Here's my 30% discount and my resident tax profile. So now if I continue on with this sale and choose a take tender, and I'll choose check again, and I choose enter line, if I complete this sale, then all of this information gets credited to me. Now let me go back and edit this, and I'll show you what I'm talking about very quickly. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go to master files and customers, and I'm going to find Sue Brown. So let me look up Sue Brown. And there's Sue Brown, so I highlight her and I go to INV detail and I choose cash register and customer order, and I can see everything that Sue has purchased from me where I have included her as the customer of the sale. Very powerful for choosing which customers may be do a some type of reward or something like that. It's a good way to identify your better customers. So let me close out of this. I'm not going to complete this sale because I don't have a printer set up that you could actually see the print job, but that's basically working with the discounts, the tax profiles, and the customer assistant.